Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Jade, and this is How to App on iOS. And today, we're taking a look at Mariana Bass Synthesizer. Finally, this thing is nuts. Are you ready? Let's hear some bass.
Bass was there in the beginning. It lives in nature, in speech, in song. In the hands of the musician, bass becomes an extension of self. It embodies the rhythm's heartbeat through smoky clubs, grounding the shrieks of horns and vocalists' howls. It erupts with thunderous strength, growling reverberations through arenas and stadiums. It casts hypnotic, syncopated grooves, creating a magnetic force that summons the spirit of dance. It forms the foundation of beats, reverberating through city neighborhoods. In electronic music, bass rumbles and pulsates, pushing boundaries, creating journeys that explore the realms of imaginable sound. Bass lives in the circuits of the synthesizer, an instrument that brought forth a new era of musical experimentation. It paved the way for never-before-heard sonic landscapes, inspiring musicians to shape sound in novel ways. Capable of power and subtlety, the harmonically complex bass sounds of the synthesizer can command attention or blend seamlessly into the fabric of sound. The synthesizer redefined bass. And now, a new creative tool has emerged. Mariana, the evolution of Moog bass. Born from the depths of Moog's legacy in synthesis, Mariana breathes new life into bass sound design techniques for the modern player or producer. Mariana invites you to voyage into sonic territories unknown, experiencing bass a whole new way. Designed for intuitive layered sound creation and processing, it encapsulates the soul of bass and fuses it with accessible technology. Made for any and every digital creator. Dial in the deepest tones that span genres. 4 modulation pathways that create complex timbres. Sculpt distinct sounds with built-in effects and compression. Discover a new spectrum of musical expression. Embrace the bass that is living and breathing around you. Allow its harmonies to guide you. Bass is the foundation, the soul, the heartbeat. Bass lives in Mariana.
Oh, I'm having hot flushes. What an intro. Welcome to the show. It's finally here, folks. Mariana. I have been sworn to secrecy for many, many months on this app, and finally it's out and I can talk about it. Damn, my voice sounds so shrill and hollow compared to that intro. Hope you're all doing well. I'm Jade. This is How to App on iOS. And yeah, it's finally the day. Welcome to our Wart Warriors. You can become a Wart Warrior by clicking the join button down below. For $1 a month, you get custom emojis and lots of love. Whew. Man, how are you all going? It's a very big day today because not only is this finally out, it came out on Wednesday here in Australia, and I can finally show it, talk about it, and just gush the hell over it. But following this show today will be the kickoff of season 2 of Well, it's back. It's Walk With Me, and it's happening again. And this time it's a variation than the last season you watched. There's only 4 episodes in this season, but they're quite a bit longer and they're quite a bit more exciting. Look at that. Look at that thumbnail. Man, that's where I went for my walk. That is Luna Park in St Kilda. And I'm going to take you after this show all through Melbourne, trams, trains, walking around the Formula One Grand Prix track to this place here, Luna Park. I'm even going to touch sand in this video, so hopefully you can come and join me for this directly after this particular show. And just get the advertising out the way now. Yes, the community cover show is, look at this motley crew up here. The community cover show is happening again this week, and we've got Wolfstone Studio, Pete Johns, Joe and Barry Glenn, Kim Harden Hudson, Mr. Smith, Lady Rhodaline Straight, Night Train 1988, the Chandler Brothers, Falcon Blueser, and Cold Acre. I will be covering songs by them, this bunch of weirdos right here. And I'm super excited, so hopefully you can come and join us for that. That is happening this weekend. I'm a bit flustered, so I just came over from Valerie Bart's channel. I've been up really early to hang out for her live stream first, and then her show with Mr. Smith showing the production of Mercy Street cover they just dropped. And boy, I really wish I could play this, but it's a monetized show. I know it's going to get claimed because I've already had a thing on my Patreon. But if you haven't seen it, go over to Valerie's channel and go watch that clip. That is a masterclass in how to record, how to perform, and how to create a video clip that is of a standard up so freaking high. It is just ridiculous. So yeah, it's just amazing video clip. All right, let's get into this. I'm going to first cover some news, and then I'm going to have a little talk about my experience on the beta for this, and then we're going to get in and hear some of the sounds, and I'll try and explain it as best as I can. Oh yeah, let's oge over to the Beat community, where we go every day to take a look at latest software, iOS software, samples, expansions, desktop stuff. So this particular app, PD Space Guitar, has been just dropped. So there's 2 versions. There's part 2, which is a paid version, and there's this new one called Test PD, which is a free version. You can go and download and check it out. Doesn't have all the full functionality, but go grab it. Yeah, it's worth your time. I've already done a show on PD Space Guitar many moons ago, but we'll be looking at it again because it's just been updated to version 2. Cascades had a huge update for desktop and iOS. 4 Pockets has a bunch of sales. Maze Rider's on sale. This we'll be looking at this week. So Audio Thing have dropped another app. 20 apps this year they have released on iOS. It is astounding. And from what I've been told, there's a heap more to come. The roadmap is still very long. This is called Motor, another collaboration with Heinbach. It is a side-chaining beast, but we'll be taking a look at that this week on the show. What else do I need to do? We'll look at some price drops. Kalimba lessons. I don't need those. I don't play kalimba. I don't want to learn. New racks on sale. Maze Rider Bass Leveler. Eventide's got all their apps on sale. Wicked stuff. That's all we'll cover there. Thank you, Queen, for the 5 gifted memberships. Who knows where they go, because YouTube just gives them to anybody, even people who aren't here on the channel, even people who aren't subscribed. And then I get emails from people crying saying, I got given a membership and I didn't want it because I don't like you. Yes, that's a real thing that happened. A real thing that happened. Somebody got gifted a membership and then sent me an email crying saying they don't like me and they don't want to be a part of my channel. Take away the membership. You know who you are. Well, you don't, because you don't watch my channel. So, all right. Mariana Bass. Let's talk about this. This is the brand new bass synthesizer from Moog. If you don't know who Moog are, I don't know what to tell you. They are the masters, the granddaddies of synthesis. Some of the most influential artists in the world have used the Model D, Model 15, Moog's, analog synth. It is, it's just a part of the music industry. And this is a brand new product, never before seen. This has not come from hardware. This is an invention straight from the minds of Moog, because their software, they have some big plans coming up for software going forward. We had Garrett on the show, who's the head software designer. I interviewed him here on the show. The last time we looked at a Moog product here on the show was for the Mooga pedals, and those things are just insane. So the price of this is $14.99. It is currently on sale. It is 50% off. I don't know when that's going to end, so if you're going to get in, you're just going to have to, because it will go up, 50% on top of that. And that's US price. For here in Australia, it's like $1 million. It does have 3 in-app purchases that we'll have a look at today also. All right, let me tell you a little bit about my experience. So I was lucky enough to be on the beta for this app. First time I've been on a beta for Moog, and a lot of responsibility, because with some apps, you have to sign an NDA. And do you know how hard it is to sign an NDA and not talk about something? It's really, really hard. Also, here every day on my iPad, you get to see what's on my iPad every day. And even if I took the app, right, and hid it in a folder here on my iPad, you may still see it, because I open up AUM each day. And in AUM, when you search for an app, it may still show up in there. So for like 3 months, I've had to keep the app on another device, and every now and again put it on this device and then take it off every day. Put it on, take it off, put it on, take it off, and you put your left foot in and your right foot out. You do the hokey pokey and you turn about. That's what it's all about. Moog, yeah. So it's been an interesting process being a beta tester. And I'm not going to lie, I played around a lot with this. And the thing is, I don't think I sent one report of a bug that I found, because the process was so good throughout this. I didn't find anything, but I know that people with bigger, more rough brains than me found a lot of things, and Moog were continuing to fix it, because I would see the updates come through. And even on the first beta, I didn't have one problem at all. Like, I guess maybe I'm doing it wrong. I'm not a synth person, let's be honest. I started this show 4 years ago, and I didn't even know what a filter was. It is what it is. So, but the process has been amazing. And can I just say, the customizability of this app is just, it's freaking enormous. Now, I know there's going to be some people who buy this or see demos of it and go, yeah, it's not very complex. It's not meant to be complex, all right? What I think this app is, this is a replica of a Moog piece of hardware that never was released. This has been all of the past, pieces of equipment that Moog have made, from Model Ds and Minitaurs and all this stuff, and all the experience that they've had from creating bass and synths and all these sounds, and kind of put it into one app, right? But it's a mono synth, so remember that as well. But it has some extra things that are really cool. It's the connectivity that is just beyond your brain capacity. So this is many, 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 many years of investment in technology, R&D, that has come out into this replica of something that doesn't exist, basically. Anyway, that's enough of my talking. You want to hear it, don't you? So I've got a few projects today, and don't get me wrong, you just don't have to make bass with this. You can make some insane drones. You can make sounds that shouldn't even exist, right? And how they would fit into a song is absolutely beyond me, but you can do that. You can create amazing pads and even drums, and I'll show you that as well. So let's open up a project. Now, hopefully this project doesn't crash, because you can see right at the moment my DSP is sitting at 80. And I have the latest and greatest iPad. But I have a lot going on here. Look at this. Alrighty, let's shut me up and let's make some noise. Christ. Whoa. All right. Let's say hello to you all, and then we'll take a look at how this thing works. Hey, Thomas Christ, Rise of Dark Leela, George, Mr. Smith, Audible Video. Who else do we have? Pookie Ann, hello, hello. Fat Panda Cat is here in the house as well. I see Jamie Mallender. I see Mateus Brokowski. What's going on? Gregory O'Sullivan. Hello, hello. Blue, blah, 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 blue unicorn. What's going on? Valerie Butt is here too. And any other names I've missed? Panda Get. What's going on? Panda Get, good to see you. Some names I may have missed because they're up way too high and I can't get to them. There's Joe Glenn as well. All right. If I've missed you, I do apologize. So, is that like a sequencer type of deal? Well, there's a lot going on in that project. We'll come back and have a look at it in a sec. So, because I've got a few projects here to take a look at. Axiom, what's going on? All right. Let's jump over back to this project. And I'm just going to solo the bass. And you know what? And we'll keep the drums going. And let's run through some sounds, shall we? And then we'll have a look at how it works. But I just want to go through some sounds. Here's the interface. Now, of course, it looks like a Moog. That's it. There's nothing too crazy. You're not going to melt your brain looking at this thing. All the things that you would expect to be in a synth is in here. Hello, Ron from Wolfstone Studio. So yeah, all the stuff you would expect is in here. Let's just hit this bass and drum. So of course, we've got presets up the top in the middle. So you can click on these and here you'll find all of your presets. And let me tell you, there's 200 of them. Just buying it out the box, right? And you can filter anything you want in here. So you've got a filter up the top, and you'll notice down the side here, you can see you've got the name of the patch, you've got what type of patch it is, so expressive, bass cinematic, all these kind of things down here. Down the side, this side where it says Moog, these are which pack the sounds are from. So anything that says Moog is what comes with the initial purchase, and any of these, bass booster 1, 2, 3, these are from the in-app purchase that you can buy over here at the store. Whoa, so I told you that there was a lot going on in this. Let's just kill this track for now, get some DSP back. Good God. Man, poor DSP, it's dying. Right, so these are your in-app purchases. I can't remember the price. We'll have a look into it. I'll get the price by the end. They're cheap as chips. And you can see what you own by clicking on owned up here. You can restore all your purchases, all that kind of stuff. Okay, now the filtering system's really cool. So $5 each. Thank you, Kurt. So you can go through and filter out favorites or user patches, anything you've saved, or you can just filter out particular sounds from particular in-app purchases or what you get. So now I've chosen just Moog, and down here you can choose from all the list of other things here, which are bass, bounce, brass, cinematic, classic, drive, drone, expressive, FX, lead, pad, so thump, vocal, there's a whole lot of stuff. Yeah, but we're just going to stick with the Moog ones for now and close this. So now you can see they're all just Moog patches, and look at them all. These are all the patches that you get, so a lot of stuff. Shall we just go through? Man, some of the subs in this. Now, the reason it's called Mariana, of course, is it comes from the Mariana Trench. If you don't know what the Mariana Trench is, it is the deepest part of the ocean, where apparently people think there is no life down there. But if you look deep enough, get it? You will find life, and some of the life down there is worth exploring. And that's what Mariana is. Go deep and explore. Oh, damn. This is the product of Mr. Smith using those sex toys. What? What? The subs get so low on this thing, you can't even hear them sometimes. Even on really good speakers. That sub. Hello, Jenny in the chat. So we're only up to B here. Oh, Wow. Who would have expected this? This is a bass sound, and listen, there's multiple things going on. I'm going to show you how to do that. Filthy. God, I think I can feel that. I'm going to need to go to the toilet. Okay, so we'll come back and we'll have a play around at the end with more presets, but there's enough presets to poke all of your eyes out and more. So a great place to start with presets and then build on top of that if you're not comfortable with sound design, but sound design is where this thing is really at. You can design to your heart's content. All right, so let's just show you these controls up the top here. Excuse me. Man, that bass was so low, it's made me choke. Nice one. So yeah, to get to your presets, you just need to click on the name of the presets, or you have this nifty, handy dandy little three-lined icon here, whatever these things are called. And here you can create an init patch. So this just takes it all back to basic settings, and you can start from scratch to begin your sound designing adventure. You can save your preset here, which will save it in your user section. You can copy. So remember, this is two dual oscillators that you can mix together, right? So if you've created a really cool synth on dual oscillator 1, you can copy that over to dual oscillator 2 and then make a variation of it. Or you can copy it back from 2 to 1 or 1 to 2, or you can swap them back and forward. You can export the state and send it to somebody else. You can import states. You've got a manual in here, a whole lot of good stuff. Left and right arrows also to skip between your presets if that's what you want to do. All right, let's get into this. So you've got tabs up the top here, synth 1. So this is a dual oscillator, what is happening. Let's go to our init patch and just start with nothing. I'm going to need to connect my keyboard, and this is our initial patch. So yes, as I said in the beginning, this is a mono synth, so you can't play chords. There's no chordage there. So mono synth means you can play one key at a time. The next key overrides unless you add a glide to it. So there is the ability to add a glide. Let's jump over and show. So this is our first dual oscillator, and the next tab next to it, hello Heather, is the controls for that oscillator, that synth, sorry. You've got a couple of LFOs, a filter envelope, an amp envelope, a mod envelope, 3 LFOs, and you've got 2 randoms that you can do whatever you want with. The next tab is Synth 2. Same, everything's exactly the same, right? And then you've got the controls for Synth 2. So this also has its own filter envelope, amp envelope, mod envelope, 2 random generators, and 3 LFOs. And on the last tab, this is our output, where you can now mix the 2 synths together. And let's run through these controls. So Synth 1 has its own effects. Synth 2 has its own effects, and they're different from each other. Synth 1 has saturation, so it has 3 types of saturation: a tube, tape, drive, and the amount, or you can have it off. Synth 2 has the exact same options for saturation. The difference between the two is Synth 1's effects have a delay. So you've got a delay over here, and Synth 2 has a chorus. So when you blend the two sounds together, you've got a delay over there and a chorus over there. Don't get too like bent out of shape that there aren't a lot of effects in here, because you wait till you see what you can do with CVs. It's crazy. Okay, and we'll explain what CVs are. Over here, you have the ability to decide the level of your two synths. So you've got synth level 1, synth level 2. Okay, and both of these have a pan. So you can pan them hard left, hard right. You can do some interesting panning. And here's where you can mute. So if both of these are lit up and I hit my keyboard, there's no sound. I've muted both sides. If I unmute number 2, and now if I unmute number 1 and mute number 2. So we have both the same sound running through both synth engines at the moment. We'll leave them, we'll mute number 2 and keep just 1 open, right, for now. The last thing over here, well, second last, is we have a compressor. Now this thing's pretty crazy compressor. It's really nice. We'll get into that. And another thing, see that we've got this little meter up here. So this gives you your dB compression and your correlation. If you tap on it, it gives you the RMS for both left and right. Yeah. So, and you can click back, get your compression. So a little hidden thing most people wouldn't find, but that is in there as well. So right now we've got only synth 1 active. That's all you can hear. Let's head over to synth 1 to take a look at what we can do with it. Now, it has two oscillators. Now, they have their own independent levels. So this is a dual oscillator, okay? And here is your mixer. You also have a noise and you have a sub-oscillator. So you've essentially got 4 oscillators. But the dual oscillators are controlled, you can actually control the levels, but the wave of both oscillators are the same. So we'll start there, make sure we've got volume. And right here is the wave shape. So if you think about the waves here, think about it starting super low with a sine wave. Right, so this is where you're going to get those grubby sounds. Listen to that. Okay, and as you turn these up over here and go through your sawtooth and all this, and up all the way up to square, just think of it as like getting more lighter, higher frequency, right? Now, as I said, this wave shape controls both of the dual oscillators in here. So you can't have 2 separate ones, but that's why we have 2 synths that you can get deep on. All right, the frequency, which is the knob up here, controls now this is a 7 semitone frequency. So it's not a full octave, but it's really good for doing fifths. I didn't mean to click that there. Double tap anywhere and it'll bring you back to your beginning. All right, and next to that we have oscillators 2, which has a detune. So they're both going to be the same. Let's bring in oscillator 2 here. So oscillator 2 can be found in the middle. So this is your 1 and 2. So we've got oscillator 2 in, and now we can detune number 2 by just touching. Let's change it to a square. So when you turn up to 7, you're getting a fifth. Savage. All right, now there is a glide option for both synths. So if we turn this one up here, this is where you're going to get that glide. So if I go, Wicked. Let's turn down the glide. So there you go. There's your glide. You can take oscillator 2 also up an octave. So we have this little button over here which allows you to take oscillator 2 only up. So we've got a hard sync next to this, which gives you a detune. It's hard locked to it. You can hear the difference when I turn this off. Now, anything on here can be modulated not only by the modulation in Mariana, but by other Moogafugas, and this can be modulate other Moogafugas, and Moogafugas can send back and forward, and you can just send everything everywhere. It is quite crazy. We have a key reset here, so every time you hit another key, it's going to reset the note. Yeah, good stuff. Feel like I'm playing Donkey Kong right now. We have an octave 2 phase. So a lot of these controls are for octave 2. So you can hear this is phasing between our 2 octaves. So you've got that. Plus you have this duty cycle. Pretty damn nice, all right? So that's the basic structure of your dual oscillators. You can also, we'll move next to our noise section. So here's the levels again. Octave 1, octave. Oscillator 1, oscillator 2. We've got a noise down here as well. So let's just turn these 2 down and just focus on the noise. So the noise control can be found up here, and it has all the colors of the rainbow. You can go from red to pink to white to blue to purple noise. So perfect for making snares, hi-hats, all that kind of stuff. So that's our noise oscillator. And lastly, we have down here a sub-oscillator. And let's turn that up. So the volume for the sub-oscillator is down here. And can anyone hear that? Oh, let me shut up. Okay, so the sub-oscillator has an independent wave shaper itself. So it's not connected to this wave shaper. You've got 3, and of course, the same thing works with the frequencies in here. So of course, the sine wave, which we're set to at the moment, is going to be that lowest flubby sound. If we move to our sawtooth, and then we've got our square on the end, yeah? Now, the cool thing about this is these can be linked, or they it can go down 2 octaves. Let's do that. So you can link, or no, you can't even hear that, can you? That sub is so low at the moment. There's just nothing there. I've got that cranked so loud. But that is the depth of this. We'll take it up to a square. And when you bring in all the sounds, you're going to get. And you have a phase here for the sub as well. Let's turn these down so you can hear what's going on. Okay, let's bounce over here for a moment. So you've got a legato mode with a retrigger, a legato, and an add. This is what's really interesting. So you have a dual oscillator spread here. Now, if I turn this up, you'll notice. And let me show you what's going on. So if I turn down the sub, turn down the oscillator 2, and turn this up, you can hear oscillator 1 has been shifted over to the left. And oscillator 2 has been shifted over to the right, giving us the sub in the middle when I turn this up. So this dual oscillator spread here is just fucking mint. It spreads everything out, and this is only a synth 1, so you can have another synth on top of this too. Okay, one other thing I want to point out about the oscillator levels here. Let's turn everything down. Oscillator 1 actually, within the volume, the gain here, has a built-in saturator. So the level, if I double click on this, it will go to about 7 o'clock on the oscillator. But if I turn it up to 10, it actually has a small saturator in it. So anything over 7, it's going to give this extra little bit of saturation, where the other oscillator doesn't have that. Right? It just goes up a level. So it's not a huge thing you're going to hear, but it is important to know that there is a touch of saturation just in this oscillator 1 level. All right, let's talk about the filters. So we have, of course, we have 2 filters. We've got a low pass filter and a high pass filter. Let's hear it. Now you notice when I turn down, the filter, when I play with it, you're still hearing the sub because the sub has its own filter. And let's play with that. So the sub filter is down here. Okay, we can get some squealy bits going if you like. Do you want some squealy bits? Let me turn this way down. So let's do some squeals. If we turn up our resonance here, you can already hear. We'll take out our sub. I'll give it a bit more volume. So lots of fun to be had with the low pass filter. We also have a high pass filter. Now the high pass filter controls both of these at the same time, right? So this is all being controlled. You're getting, and you can hear when I turn it up and down, the cutoff on the high pass, it's both of these oscillators, 1 and 2, that are being affected by this. Now you can change this up because you have some options over here with your filter arrangement. So you've got a general, a parallel, and a high pass filter noise. Let's just skip to the high pass, because if I turn up the noise now, the noise is included with the cutoff. But if I hit this switch here, we can just send the high pass to the noise. Okay, good stuff. So we have our sub filter here. Let's introduce the sub again. We'll take out the noise. You can get some gnarly, farty sounds out of this sub, let me tell you that. And you have 3 modes of filter over here. So you can go a high, a band pass, or a low pass. All right, let's talk about this OSC crossover. So when this is activated, this allows you to control, if I turn this down over here, you're only hearing the oscillator 1 and 2. So it creates a crossover, and I can start to blend in the sub. Now remember, this is for the filter. This crossover is for the filter, and that's what's going on there. All right, so this is the basic understanding of the thing, of one synth. If we jump over to the second synth, all the controls are the same, all right? But it's another dual oscillator, and we can quickly make something over here. So I'm going to flick to our output. Where are we up to on the show? Going to have to run the ad. What we do here on the show, folks, every show is run the ad, and it'll let you know, because I've got to pay the bills. Run the ad. If you get the ad, you get the ad. If you don't, you don't. And if you want to avoid the ad, guess what? You can buy premium. We'll wait for those folks to get back who may have copped an ad. I'll have a sip of coffee, because we've got 30 minutes before I have to jump you over to our to the premiere coming up. All right, hopefully people are back. If they did get served an ad, sorry for the inconvenience. So we can now unmute the Synth 2. Now let's mute number 1, the sound we just created. And we're back here. So let's go in and quickly make something else. We're going to jump over to Synth 2. Let's use a square here. That sounds very much like Donkey Kong, doesn't it? And now if we come back over here to our output tab, we can bring them both together. And here is, we've created a sound. All right, let's look at these effects over here. So as I said before, we've got different effects that you can add to these. We'll focus on number 1 first. So we'll mute sound 2. You have a saturator up the top here. To turn it on, you have a tube, tape, and a drive. Let's run through what they sound like. So that's the tube. Let's go to the tape. We've got a drive here. If I can get... So some pretty crazy saturation. And we've got a delay. Cold Acre, I sent you a message. I hope you got it. Please get it if you can today. Please. I beg of you. All right, so we have a delay here. You can see our little delay time flashing away. To turn this on, you just bring up your delay mix down the bottom. Wicked. And we have our delay times. You can control the feedback, so pretty standard delay stuff. We've got a delay in stereo. And you can sync the delay, but here's something you need to be aware of. Even though it's sunk to your DAW, you're still going to have to kind of be very careful to dial something in, because it doesn't kind of lock. As you can see, we've got a 8 dotted, 4, so everything here, but it doesn't, it locks in between. You can go in between these settings. Wow, that sounds wicked. So there is Synth 1's effects, a delay and a saturation. Let's unmute and go to number 2. God, it sounds so empty, doesn't it? Let's give it some saturation. We'll go with a tape. And this one over here has a chorus. To turn up the chorus, just turn up the mix. It can be expanded by clicking this little light. And it can be sunk as well. All right, let's bring both synths in. So they're pretty loud at the moment, but here we can go and mix their overall levels. Let's pull them both down. Hello, Dom Torregrossa. You can do some panning if you want to. So we can pan both synths hard left and right. Or just a little bit, you know. Double tap to bring anything back to the middle. You have an overall volume here in the middle. And lastly over here, here is our compressor. Now this thing's a demon. It's a demon seed. To turn it on, you hit here. You have an FET compressor as well if you put this on. And let's pull down the threshold. And you can see how much is being compressed here by our level. So when I pull down this threshold, you can see how much is being leveled out with that compressor attack. You've got your ratio. Let's compress the shit out of it. Turn up to 20:1. Pretty crazy. Fat stuff, yeah? All right. Let's talk about LFOs. So there are multiple ways to add modulation to any of your sounds. We'll focus again on our original synth. So I'll mute number 2. And as I said in the beginning, you've got synth 1 and you've got control 1. Synth 2 and control 2. So these are where you can do all the things and stuff. Shall we start with an LFO? So to connect LFOs, there's multiple ways you can connect LFOs. Each of these little sections has this little squiggly arrow up the top. See that little squiggle? If I click on that, it brings over this little page here. Now, this is my mod summary. This tells me where all my modulation things are going. So this is like my little summary. You've got sources and you've got destinations here. All right, so if I click on this, again, it pops up with Control LFO 1 and it asks me if I would like to add a new destination. And of course I want to, so I'm going to click that. And all these little knobs light up everywhere. So wherever I click now, they're all lit up until I click one of them. So I'm going to choose the low pass filter. And now that that's done, over here there's a little control. And this gives me the power to turn it on. So the low pass is turned on. It's ready to go. If I hit a note, we should have a low pass, but I can't see it happening. What's going on? There we go. So just have to turn it down. So we've created our first modulation. Okay, so this, to access this little corner panel, you've got this little button up the top, and this shows you all your destinations. So all the things you've got connected. And that's that. Super easy. Let's show you another way to add an LFO really quickly. I'm going to use Synth 2 this time. So instead of going over here and clicking on this little squiggly bit, you have another option. You can go over here and hit this little MIDI button. And this says, click a knob for modulation. That's what she said. So I'm going to click the cutoff for this Synth 2. And once I've clicked it, you get all these options down the side here. You can add shit to anything. The velocity, so a lot of this stuff is for your keyboard. So the velocity presses, your keyboard tracking, mod wheel, the pressure you put on your keys, the release velocity. This also works with MPE. So that's, if you've got an MPE controller, it does come as a standalone with the MPE keyboard. Plus here, so now we can choose this LFO. So down here we have our controllers. These are the control section, and this is controller 1. So if I scroll, I can get to controller 2, choose LFO 1, and turn it on. Now we're hearing the original. Let's go to our output, and now mute number 1. So now we're hearing Synth 2. And we have a modulation connected. So you can see this is now being modulated, our cutoff. Let's click over here for a second, because in here you have more options. Crazy. There's so many options, it's ridiculous. We can go, now you can see this modulation's kind of going up and then coming back. If we hit bipolar, this takes it all the way. So it goes into the negative and back, into the negative. We can decide the amount. But this isn't, we're not controlling the actual LFO here, just the amount of LFO, and then we can go in and change the LFO even further. You also have controller stuff in here. So I can go in here and add an extra controller. Like I could add a control filter envelope in here. Or I can add in, let's do another LFO. We'll do an LFO 2, say. And turn this up. So now we've actually got 2 LFOs running. Plus you can get even crazier if we head over here back to our little LFO 1, and you can add a function. So you can add something like a slew in here. And that slew kind of smooths out your LFOs. So pretty crazy stuff. It's very, very, very deep. And if I scroll to the bottom over here, not only do I have the controllers that are within the Mooga, you'll see this thing called control voltage. What is a control voltage? Well, this is something you will find with a lot of hardware. So they're CV. So these are ways to patch. Say you have a pedal and you have a synth, you can patch out of the pedal into the synth and send things from the pedal into things within the synth and back and forward. And what's really cool is Moog released the Mooga pedals earlier this year with CV capabilities. So let's open a CV. Luckily enough, I have one over here. So I have this second Mariana track, and in here I have a Mooga phaser. All right, there's our little Moog phaser. Let's shrink all these down. So I want to send data from this Moog phaser, say that fast, into Mariana. I want to send something out of here like the LFO or the resonance or whatever. I want to send it over here like a sweep. Whatever I want, I can do. Up the top here, we have CV controls. Let's zoom in a little bit so you can see them. And you have control voltages in, control voltages out. So out would mean I'm sending data from Mariana into the pedal. In would mean I'm sending stuff from the pedal into Mariana. So if I click here, what's really cool about these Moog Phogers, they all have an individual name. So if I click up the top here, you can see this says NYKFU. So this pedal has its own little number so you can identify it when you look in the space here for things to add in, right? We can go, let's scroll down here. I can scroll. Oops. Come on, let me scroll. Scrolling, maybe not. It's too small for me to scroll. There we go, scroll up. So what we're looking for in this list, a YK. There it is. See that? Oops. I let go. Damn. There it is. Down the bottom, this C here, it says LFO. When I click that, now the LFO of this can control something in here. It's fucking bananas, let me tell you that. So there's a CV. Now if I come over here and let's say we're going to go in and choose, I don't know, let's choose the pitch. Let's make this a little bit bigger so you can see what's going on. I'm going to go over to Control Synth 2 and we're going to choose, and you can see now see this little thing up here, this little light? That's letting us know that the pedal is now sending information into this. Just these little touches are fantastic. So I want to go to Synth 1. I'm going to choose the frequency knob. And if I scroll to the bottom, I can choose CV1. And look, it's moving. So, let's repeat what's going on. This pedal is sending out its LFO right here over into this to mess with the frequency. And it can go the other way as well. So we can come over to the pedal here and I can click on, say, the resonance of this pedal, and I can scroll and find I can find Mariana, and Mariana's number is KOWX. There it is there. So here it is, KOWX. And I can send out this back over to the pedal. It's very, very deep and very, very crazy the things you can do with this spectacular app. All right, I'm going to stop here for a second. And I'm just going to open up another project that I made. And let's go over here. Now, hopefully this doesn't crash my iPad as well. Probably will, because this is an even bigger project. Oh, man, there's so much to cover. Oh, look, and Mariana didn't load for me. What is going on? Let's try that again. Come on, baby. Let's go. Let's go, baby. I may have to shut down a few things to get it to work this time. There we go. We've got it loaded this time. Let's see what I made last night. Make sure the volume's all good. So as you can see also, you're able to make with this not only, where's my mic? Hang on. Hello. What is happening here? Why is my mic making stupid sounds? Hey, there we go. God damn. So as you can see here, not only can you make crazy bass sounds, but really cool pluck sounds, synth sounds. It's really bananas. Let me show you one more thing. Now, I'm definitely going to be taking more of a look of this as we go on because there's just so much to cover. I'm going to do a whole show, possibly next week, where we take a look at CVs, Moog and connecting all these things together and make some really bonkers sounds because I haven't even touched on that. You can go fucking nuts with this thing and create sounds that just shouldn't even exist, okay? So we'll leave this project open for now, but what I'm going to do is open up a Logic Pro project I made yesterday just to show you what you can do with this incredible app. So we have 4 instances running here. If I show you, each of them have, once they load Mariana. So we've got with track 1, Mariana, track 2, Mariana. You can see down the bottom, each of these have Mariana. Yes, Robbie, I know you need some attention, Robbie, but I've got a show to do. My friend, I love you so much, Robbie, but I'm trying to get through a show and I've got 10 minutes left to explain something. I love you, Robbie. So, damn. We've got 4 Moog here. 4 Marianas running. I've created a bass, I've created a kick, a snare, and a hat, all from scratch. Let's go. Let's solo them. So I've created a kick sound here. It's more of a thud. We've got a snare. Let's show you them. We've got some hi-hats. So it's very possible to create hi-hats, right? Let me show you some of the methodology behind these hi-hats quickly. We have connected over here. Let's go to our matrix to the side. Oh, I don't actually, what have we got? Where do I do this? Synth. I thought I had some filters in here. Oh, I'm on the wrong one. But it's down here. So, let's look at our matrix. Right now, I have a control, and it's an amp decay. So we have a randomizer here. And this randomizer over here is controlling these hats. It's controlling the decay of our amp envelope. And that's creating the variation between hats. So you're getting a closed hat and an open hat randomly. See how it's snapping and opening, snapping and opening? And just by turning this decay here, setting a little a modulation to that, it's creating that randomization. Boom. Yeah, so $14.99 Semtex. It's a half price. I don't know when it's going up. Definitely, if you want to get on it, I'd get on it because who knows? And they haven't told me when it's going to go up, so I don't really know. But there you go. So it is possible. If we have a look at this kick as well, let's take a look at the kick and what's going on in here, because I've got some modulation on this kick too. Let's solo it. Here's our kick. We'll solo it. Is that the kick? Yes. Kick, 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 kick. You can see I have a modulation on the frequency, on the actual tone, the frequency, to give it some kind of like change in variation. With the thud, it changes, right? So we're getting a modulation in there. Even with the snare, let's jump to the snare and show you what's going on here quickly. So I'm running in this two instances, two sounds. Let's mute one. So our first one is very snappy, and I can change that. I can go into the controls here. We can cut off the, am I in the right one? No, I'm in this one. And I'm making these using the noise. So I have no oscillators turned up. This is just the noise. We're using like a, you can change the tone of it, you know, with your noise. Right, so very easy to create snares and such like that. Wicked. Now, that how sick was that bass? Fat as absolute fuck. So 4 tracks there, very simple to make, something like that. As I said, this is only part 1. We will go through, I think this time next week, before we do the walk next week, and just go crazy with CVs and creating some squelchy, noisy, bizarre, crazy shit. But today I just want to do an overview of the bass sounds, the simple controls to get over it. Now, there's a couple of places you can go to find out more. Some really good demos of this is over at Moog Music on YouTube. They have about, there's like 6 tutorials over there that are a godsend. They treat you like you've never owned a synth before, and you'll walk away feeling, oh God, I feel intelligent. So very worthwhile to go over and check that. I know Patrick Baird at the Garage Band Guide did a show on it, and I know Jacob Hack is working on something very special. But we'll get crazy with it. I know you probably wanted to hear me go nuts with it today, but there just isn't enough time in the world. Let's play this for a second. And see if we can just add some squelchy weird things to it. So, we've got this sound here. I'm going to add a Moogafoga, just to give you an idea of what we can do quickly. Let's go with a ring modulation. So this is a pedal I've added to this. Now I want to send some stuff to places. I'm going to go over here and find this bass sound over here. I'm going to turn it on. Now this is an MLSB, so I'm looking for an MLSB in my matrix here. Here it is, CV1. I've put this on the frequency. God, I can't even get my head around. I know I'm running out of time. I'm out of time. There just isn't enough time to do. We'll do this next week. I promise you. We will get mental next week and make some stuff that will just melt your brain, because there's so much to do with this app, and I've spent so much time with it over the last 3 months. Yeah, so I've explained it. I wanted to give you an overview of this. Definitely worth your time to grab this. It is fat as hell. Yeah, there's also these in-app purchases. Let me just close this out. And lastly, we got 3 minutes. I'm not going to get a chance to play today's featured artist. We'll do it on Monday. I swear to God, we'll catch up and do all that. Let's just open a copy of it here. God. Mariana. Yes. When you open it as a standalone, it also comes with this additional key. I'm still on the beta, see, guys. So it also comes with this additional keyboard. And this is an MPE keyboard. So if I move up and down, you can assign things to an MPE keyboard. I can create holds and start creating drones and such. So if I go to our menu here, we can do a filter and look for some drones. Swarm of locusts. All right, this thing's just... It's too much for me to deal with. It's too crazy. It's too amazing. It's fucking worth your time. It's fat. It's all that. And there's just so much more depth to it that you won't believe. But we'll talk about it next week, yeah? All right. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this look, first look at Mariana. Coming up next on my channel, I'll dump you automatically over there, is season 2 of Walk With Me. Finally, it is here. Here's the thumbnail. Don't wear it out. It's an hour long. It's 54 minutes long. I hope you've got time to watch it. It is a huge walk to many different places. It's something completely different than what you saw with the last season. So hopefully you can come and join me for this. Whew. All right. Do the things that make you happy, folks. Mistakes make you better, and we'll all rise together. Let's Oge. As the shirt says, let's Oge. Thank you to Moog for trusting me with the beta as well and creating such a great app. Did I say it? Do the things that make you happy, mistakes make you better. We all rise together. Let's go. See you at the premiere. Love you all. Bye-bye.
We'll all rise together, 'cause you make me shine better.